Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Monday afternoon, March 29th. We are looking at the market profiles of all the ETFs we follow here on Window Trader. Another interesting day, very difficult afternoon. Basically stayed out of it. We'll go over all that. A couple of interesting things that took place today, and something that I want to go over in SPY and ES, that something we have to keep an eye on, what possibly happened today. First off, Russell. They have a trend day down, two sets of single prints, yet they go 10 wide. Meanwhile, we only end 8 wide, and Triple Qs, who was 7 for 7 wide, they only end 7 wide. So pretty interesting. Let's start with Russell. So they end, remember, they had no price spike on Friday. I just noticed something else. Very interesting here. They did not have a price spike on Friday like we did and the Triple Qs did. They open, they do take out Friday's high, but also take out Friday's low and now close below it. So believe it or not, they go with an outside day down in Russell. It's not too encouraging. However, they never got to the single prints from the 25th. So that double distribution day held the singles for now, but they go out with 2 sets of single prints today and an outside day down. So kind of bearish on the shorter picture for the Russell. Triple Qs, they went in and out of their price spike all morning. A through F. G never really got it. They finally stayed above it, but they didn't get much traction above Friday's high. Now, neither did we, but we'll get to that in a second. I did take 2 trades actually in Triple Qs. I took 2 shorts in C period because it looked like C period was having trouble getting above. Once we were one time framing down, they were having trouble getting back above the price spike. So I did it twice. Once I made money on it, and once they caught me. Once we took out B's high, I took it off. So I made money, but nothing to speak of on those 2 trades. Now, SPY and ES. We spent the entire day inside of the price spike, briefly getting above it in I, L, and M, and briefly below it in C and D. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say they really pushed in B, C, and D, and we defended this price spike. So I'm kind of thinking there might have been some long-term buyers. They didn't want to dictate the market, but they wanted to protect that spike. They weren't going to push the market up. So I have a feeling there's a possibility we had some long-term money defending that spike. And then again, in the afternoon, when we didn't get much in H and I, and they started forcing it down, I thought there was a good chance to go back to B's high, test the opening, but instead we raised POC, and they defended this pretty good again. So again, the question has to be asked, was long-term buying in here around K's low to defend that? I think the answer to the first one is, I have a feeling we'll see tomorrow. I mean, if they were there today, I would expect them there over the next couple of days to defend this level with the end of the quarter coming up. Right? It's been a pretty good quarter so far. They don't want to see the next 2 days give back the entire quarter. So kind of thinking that that might have been in play definitely early on and possibly in K period also. You could almost treat this as an inside day, as Friday's high was what the heck was it? 394.47. We took it out by kind of more than that. So I guess I really can't. But we'll see how tomorrow acts. As far as my trading in SPY, again, I ended up making about $650 after commissions. There's nothing wrong with that. I just felt like I didn't have a handle on the day, though, from H period on. So most of that money was made earlier because I lost money in both G and H, and then I made some money back in L. So in A period, I did take a short, and I traded all expirations today. I took a short against the weekly high. I'm like, I don't think we're going to get that right away. And it turned out to be right, and I had a very nice trade on that, on the 397 puts. Then in C period, I took a long against filling the single prints. I'm like, I don't think these single prints are going to hold. Even though we made a new low and we had singles. That turned out to be a very good trade on the 393 calls. Then in D, we went down Again, we're one-time framing. Well, we were one-time framing. Now I took a short in D basically to see, well, let's see if we're going to defend the opening. And that worked out on 395 puts. So I started the day off very good on those three trades in A, C, and D. Then I took a short in G period against A's high. I'm like, okay, maybe this will come in. Kept sitting there. Didn't come in. Finally, H started. H took out G's high, took it off for a loss. I didn't wait to the high of the day, obviously. As soon as H took out G, I'm like, that's it. Game over. And then in H pair, I'm like, okay, well, now we're going to probably go get the high and see what we get above it. Well, we did get the high. We started coming back in. I took a long. And lo and behold, that didn't work out because we just kept sitting down. I took out H's low. I'm like, I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to take it off. I took it off for loss, and then I automatically reversed and had a reversal bar. So I didn't lose a lot on those trades, but I gave back some money that I made in A, C, and D. And then I didn't do anything because I was like, it's just disgusting chop. The last trade I took on the day, L took out I's high. Now remember, SPY hadn't gotten one other daily high because of the dividend. We got it. I took a short, and that came in, and I made money on that. So not a bad day. I mean, it was like $650 after those two losses, after commissions. Again, I'm not going to complain on a day like today, especially when reading the market from basically H period on was not easy. So, all right. Destinations for tomorrow. There's only 3 upside destinations right now, folks. And that is, and by the way, we took out the IB on both sides again today. And in SPY, we took out both the overnight high and low. I know you didn't get the overnight low in ES, but SPY did. So a lot of conflicting MGI throughout the day. 396.75, today's high. 398.12, weekly high, all-time high from the 17th. 398.25, pre-market all-time high from the 18th. And by the way, speaking of highs, the Dow hit an all-time high today. So let me just make sure. Yep, they're the only indice that hit an all-time high. For our downside, we don't have anything to F's low. We're only 8 wide. I'm going to use 9 wide. So 393.57 F's low. And I think that's really important because then next you have today's low of 392.81. And if we test that and we take out today's low, not only does the one-time framing up in the daily stop, but more importantly, if my thesis or thought process of this being long-term money today defending the price spike, well, if they're not there tomorrow and we say we flush out to the POC and even the 26 low, well, then I'm not going to be right on what I was thinking on that. Then we have 390, and another thing, below today's low is nothing to 390.29, which is the 26 low. And below that, we have 389.69, the price probe from the 25th, and you should have all the other destinations all the way down to the weekly low. And then let's go to the charts. So, just going to show you the daily in SPY. Monthly's up, weekly's in the 4-week balance, and the daily. I'm calling it up now. We came into balance on Friday. We took out Friday's high. So I'm calling it up. But again, we didn't take out Friday's high by a lot. So you really can treat this as an inside day, which means if you take out today's high, the odds of getting the all-time high tomorrow would be good. If we take out today's low, the odds of getting Friday's low would be good. So I would treat it as an inside day. And then just quickly, let's look at the Russell. Here's their daily. Outside day down. They took out Friday's high, tested the 50, and closed below Friday's low. That's not too impressive. So with that being the case, again, we rallied so hard off that 208 level. Well, with an outside day down, we'll see if they're going to attempt to get there again tomorrow. I hope you had a great day trading. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.